everything rises and falls on leadership. The buck stops with the leader. To measure a country, or probably the quality of a country, or the quality of an organization, to know the temperature of any organization, or to know the temperature of any individual, put the thermometer under the armpits of the leader. The readings will tell you, the temperature of the nature of the nation. And so everything rises and falls on leadership. We need bold and courageous leadership that would literally ensure that everybody is living up to his responsibility. For example, imagine you have a president who demands that, look, I want to reduce crime. And so, Mr. IGP, I am giving you a timeline to ensure that perhaps your standard of operations activities, your response to any crisis should be within 10 minutes of radius when you are called. And if these things would not go on, your head, would roll. He would then call all the regional police commanders, would give them some timelines. The regional commanders will call the district commanders, will give them timelines. Believe you me, it will trickle down because everybody is going to be held responsible. We need leaders that will not think about themselves, but leaders that will think about the benefits of the nation and drive the nation forward. So for me, we can transform our country, but it will come through bold, courageous, and determined leaders who will enforce laws. It will be painful from the beginning, but believe you me, we will all cooperate. If we all cooperate, we will be able to be proud at the end of the day.
Let me catch up with some of your messages as they are coming in. Good evening, Anna. I always become disturbed when people virtually condemn everything Ghanaian and everybody except themselves. And more so when such condemnation is from Christians who are to give hope. After all, we Christians are more about 70% of the population. How many of us participate in the National Sanitation Program? Let's set up and act, bro, from Kofi Ofori Pobi in Aguna Swedru. Is it Aguna Swedru? Aguna? I think it's Aguna. Aguna Swedru. Let me get one more message here. I wish if Nkrumah should have made the whites to colonize Ghana. For 59 years now, Ghana will be in a better position now. I don't see the benefit of education in Ghana now. Non-practical lecturing, corruption, unemployed graduates. Now we are losing our skills derived from tertiary education. And this is Asamu J. Let me get another one here. Greetings. There are a couple of issues which speak to our disorderliness. One, our institutions, systems are not working and are poorly resourced. Two, poor planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of projects. Typical example is the Ho Road completion. Three, corruption and misappropriation of funds. The perpetrators freely roam the streets of Ghana even after judgment has been passed in favor of the state, all in the name of Enyehe, Jaimanenka, Mfamanyami. The list is endless. This is for real in Kokomlimle. Let me take a quick break here and come back and continue your messages at 0560 800 000. And so many messages are coming about the book. The book is in Silverbird at the mall. So you can get a copy of the book in the Silverbird at the mall. Going for a break and coming straight back. Thank you very much for staying. And on page 234, it says, honest and effective government, public order and personal security, economic and social progress did not come about as a natural cause of event, but by deliberate creative vision. And this is Lee Kuan Yew.
Exactly. And you know what? We know their story and how they were just at the same level with Ghana during our time of independence.
On the base of that,
yes,
since we are not planning, deliberating everything, so I want to find out, are we doomed? But
are we doomed?
Are we doomed?
No, we are not. As long as we have people who we are talking about these issues, we have so many leaders who are also calling for a vision that will literally drive us. we have a lot of leaders who are calling for courageous leaders to ensure that people must do the right things, I think we are sending the right signal to the society. And that will probably help in the decision, the kind of people we elect into public office, so that they now know that they need to drive our people. They need to have a deliberate vision that will spell out the direction we are going and how to get there. Because when you have the vision, you will have the forces that will fight you. But as long as you know where you are going, we have the pull effect and the push effect. But whatever vision you have, you would have to work towards that. So we are not doomed. We have a brighter future, but it will call for deliberate leaders. And I believe that these discussions definitely is sending the right signal to society.
On the 6th of March, it was my Paramount Chief's 5-year anniversary. So he held a symposium at the Century Royal. I want to say thank you to all those who came to the symposium. But somebody said something to me, and it struck me. He says, Nana, we are the generation that has to cause the turnaround. I said, really? He says, yes. He says, all my indication tells me that we are the generation that have to turn things around for posterity. And my heart jumped. It's never struck me. I just thought we're not going to realize our dreams in our lifetime. We just complain and go. There's somebody who's saying, Nana, this is the generation that has to do the turnaround.
I will agree with him, because I just returned, like I told you, from Rwanda, and one of the conferences we held was, what has transformed Rwanda? And the president said he really wants to lead the nation on purpose. He will drive the nation on vision and drive it. And most often it has been said that most nations are built on three-legged stool: the public sector, the private sector, and the fifth sector. Now, most often if we drive it only on two-legged stool, naturally the stool wouldn't be very strong. So you need the third sector. And unfortunately, most governments forget the fifth sector. Go to any remotest part of the village. There are two things you would find there. You may not find perhaps electricity post office or a school, what have you. But there are two principal things you'll find. You'll find a drinking bar and a church or a mosque. So these are people that can help with the social transformation of a community. And it is about time government will understand to partner the faith branch of the sector to really drive the nation. And so I believe that this generation should see leaders that will turn this nation around. If we begin to send this right signal to our people and they begin to demand that leaders perform. You see, unfortunately, we worship our leaders, but they are there to serve us. So once we begin to, trumpet this clarion call, we can move our nation to be able to be transformed. And we need those leaders who are not thinking about themselves, but thinking about Ghana. Can you imagine having a president coming on board and saying that, look, in the next 2 years or 3 years, or for example, I wouldn't take any salary. And then I would demand that all my ministers will take 50%. If you are ready, you will sign and you come on board. If you're not ready, I'll find someone who will agree. But I want to set an example because the nation is cash-strapped. The nation is having financial challenges. So I want to set an example. 3 years, I'm not taking any salary. Now, I don't think any sector, medical association, or the teachers will rise up and demand that they want more. When they've realized that the president himself is setting their example, all his ministers are on half salary, he challenges parliament and said that, look, why wouldn't you also cut off? And then, the V8s and the vehicles, why wouldn't you cut them? When they begin to see this, people wouldn't cry foul. The
sacrifice should come from the top.
Exactly. Leadership must start with the example. When we begin to see our leaders setting that example, people from the various sectors wouldn't cry and be on the street and demand their pound of flesh. But as long as they see you having yours, and then you ask them to wait, and then perhaps you ask them to tighten their belt, I'm afraid they wouldn't do that. The example must be set. People must set the example right from the top.
Let me go back to the Lin Kuan Yew statement, because I thought it was quite very, very profound.
Yeah.
That these things don't just happen by chance, but it's deliberate. Honest and effective government, public order, personal security, economic and social progress did not come about as a natural cause of event, but by deliberate creative vision?
Deliberate, creative vision. That is the core function of a leader. Whether at corporate level, educational level, traditional level, national level, or departmental level, that is the core function of a leader. So the leader must cast the vision, should be able to tell us in the next 15 years, this is where we are going. Well, if in 4 years he's out of office, whoever comes is also plugging into the same vision, because that vision has been crafted by the entire representatives of the various political parties. So it is something that we will all own the vision.
Because of time, can you explain to me the special vision model?
Well, the special vision model, any man, any woman who crafts a vision must have this special vision. The S means specific. Vision must be very specific and very clear to the people. The P must be people-oriented. Vision is about people. It's about moving people from where they are to where they want to be. It's about improving the lives of people. And the E is about empowerment. Is this vision going to enrich and improve the lives of people? Is this vision going to make these people better off? All right? The C is to challenge the status quo. Any vision that will maintain the same system is no vision. Every vision calls for a change. Every vision calls for a new attitude. Every vision begins to break from the old to the new. So the C is to challenge the status quo and change the status quo. And the I must be inspiring. The vision must birth hope. People must see themselves in it. People must say, yeah, I can see myself. Like Martin Luther King said, it is, for in that national dream, he said, I have my dream. It is rooted in the dream of American dream. And then the A must be audacious. It's not a vision for 1 day, nor 1 year, but it's a vision beyond 10 years. Because any vision that will outlive, remember, vision outlives a leader. So for a vision to move from where it is to the next 15 years must be audacious. L, it must be long term. Must give us that long term. So a real vision that stands the test of time is what we call the vision model, which I came with, which is the special model. Because it is very important, it must be audacious. A vision must be bold and daring. Sometimes, you know what, it should even scare you, the leader, sometimes. You would wonder, can I? But yes, you can, because the vision must be, every vision is bigger than the visioneer. And every vision outlives the visioneer too.
Well, thank you so much. So now you see why I sort of coerced Bishop to come and join us today. But grab yourself a copy of the book. Is there any number they can call if...
Yes, they can call 0303 202260.
Again?
0303 202260.
Call and grab yourself one of the books. Thank you very much for staying in today. This is the generation that has to turn things around. And so the honors is on you and I. And on that note, let me say thank you very much on the behalf of Odenho Kwafakutu III for gracing his the event yesterday. But 26th of March, all roads lead to Odumasa. I'm going to invite Pastor. It's my 5 years on the throne.
Wow.
So
wow.
I would be very glad to have you as a guest.
Sure.
And you watching, I know you're fed up with hearing Odumasa. You need to come and celebrate with us. Tomorrow we'll be back to do this all over again. And thank you very much for watching. Pastor, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a delight to be here.
Yes, it was a delight having you too.